Okay, fourth graders, today is Monday, September 23rd, and we are starting a brand new module today. And you're going to see that this is actually a very short module. There are only 5 lessons in this module, okay? It's kind of like a little mini module, and it's all about measurement, okay? You can see that our learning goal says today we are going to be able to measure or express and talk about metric length measurements in terms of a smaller unit, okay? In America, we use 2 different kinds of systems to measure things, to measure how long things are, or measure how much things weigh, or measure how much space something takes up. One is called the customary set of measurements, and that's things like inches, feet, yards. As I was saying, we use things like feet, yards, miles. That's the customary units, okay? But there's also what's called the metric units, and that's things like grams, liters, meters, things like that. Okay, so today we're talking about the metric, and we're talking about length. Okay, so make sure you copy down your learning goal correctly. Let's first talk about the problem of the day before we get more into that. So as I was mentioning before, in the metric unit, there are 3 different things we can measure. One is length, and that's what we're talking about today. Length means the distance between 2 points, like the distance between me and my desk. That would be a line, right? I could draw a straight line from me to my desk, and we can measure it to find out the length or the distance. Does that make sense? If I wanted to find out how tall Zara is, I'm finding the distance from the bottom of her feet to the top of her head. I could draw a line, and I find the length of that line, and that's how tall she is. Okay? Same thing. If I wanted to find out the distance around a football field, I could draw a line, 4 lines, and connect them, right? And that would be the length or the distance around the football field. Does that make sense? So length is how far something is, a line, how far the distance is between 2 points. Now, in the metric system, the basic unit is a meter. Okay, go ahead and write this down. 1 meter is about the height from the ground to the top of this counter here. So just so you can picture it in your head, or about the distance from, like, how tall your desk is, your table is, from the ground to the top of your tabletop. That's about 1 meter, okay? Then we can also use something called a kilometer. You can see it's adding the word kilo in front of meter to make the word kilometer. And a kilometer is about like the distance from your house to your school. So is a kilometer bigger or smaller than a meter? Bigger, right? Because obviously the distance from your house to your school is bigger than the distance from the ground to your tabletop. Do you agree? Now a centimeter, you'll again notice there's that word meter again, but in front of it we added the word or the prefix centi. A centi is about the length of a staple. Show me with your fingers, how big is a staple? Yeah, that's about a centimeter. So what's bigger, a meter or a centimeter? Meter, okay? So today for our learning goal, we're going to be able to express a metric length measurement in terms of a smaller unit. What that means is instead of saying 1 kilometer, we could rename it by saying it's the same distance as a certain number of meters. Or 1 meter is the same as a certain number of centimeters. We're going from a larger unit to a smaller unit. You can see that this is the largest that we have here. And then down here is the smallest. Okay? Now, of course, these units are related. I'm here to tell you today, and you're going to write this down, that 1 kilometer is the same as 1,000 meters. In fact, the word kilo, do you guys see how kilo is the word in front of meter? That means 1,000. So that helps you remember that in 1 kilometer, there are 1,000 meters. So if I told you that the distance between the ground and the top of your tabletop is 1 meter, how could I show 1 kilometer up in the sky? What would I need to do? I'd have to stack 1,000 tables to make 1 kilometer. Can you guys imagine how big that would be? Right? Okay, so we can use this conversion. Now, this is something you have to memorize. 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. Everyone say that. 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. It's just like math facts. It's just a fact that you have to memorize. Okay? So we can use that conversion, though, to help us. We can use this fact that 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters to help us convert from a bigger unit to a smaller unit. We know kilometers are bigger than meters, yes? So let's fill in this chart. 1 kilometer is the same as how many meters? Everyone? 1,000. Make this chart in your own notebook. Then, if we have 2 kilometers, how many meters are in 2 kilometers, everyone? 2,000. Good. How many meters are in 3 kilometers? 3,000. How many meters are in 7 kilometers? 7,000. What is the general rule? To get from kilometers to meters, we take the number of kilometers and we multiply by, what's happening? Everyone, we're multiplying by 1,000. Good. So if I have 70 kilometers, how many meters is that? Evan?
70,000.
70,000. Very good. And the reason for that is because 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. Another conversion you need to write down and remember is, show me 1 meter again. Show me 1 meter with your hands. It's about the distance of your table. It's like this. Good. Now show me 1 centimeter. What's a bigger unit, a meter or a centimeter? Meter. Good. So the next one you need to write down is that 1 meter is 100 centimeters. Okay, so 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. What that means is it would take 100 little staples lined up in a row to make 1 meter. Okay. So let's use that same idea now, and let's convert from meters to centimeters. So make yourself a new chart where one side is meters and one side is centimeters. Let's go ahead and fill in that chart. 1 meter is the same as how many centimeters? Everyone? 100. Good. 2 meters is the same as how many centimeters? 200. Good. 3 centimeters is the same as 300. Sorry, 3 meters is the same thing as 300 centimeters. 7 meters is the same thing as 700. Before we do the last one, let me ask you again, what's the rule? If I want to change from meters to centimeters, what do I need to do? Sparsh? Multiply by 100. Very good. So, how many centimeters are in 70 meters? Well, I have to do 70 times 100, which is, Zara? 7,000. So what I can say is that there are 7,000 centimeters in 70 meters. Whenever the question gives you 2 different units, kilometers and meters, you can't add yet. It's like adding apples and oranges. If I say I gave Sanvi 5 apples and then gave her 3 oranges, how many apple oranges does she have? That doesn't make any sense. They're different units. When we add things, they need to be the same units. Are kilometers and meters the same units? No. So let's make them both. How about let's make them both into meters? 5 kilometers is the same as how many meters? Well, we have to multiply by 1,000. So this is equal to 5,000 meters plus 2,500 meters. Now you can see they are in the same units. Do you guys agree? So now can we add? Yeah. Now we can do 5,000 plus 2,500, which is 7,500. Now what kind of units are they? Meters. So you could write 7,500 meters, but that's not like all the way simplified because we know that 7,000 of those meters is equal to 7 kilometers. So you could write this as 7 kilometers, 500 meters. That's like the most like simplified, I guess you could say. Okay, but honestly, are those both equal to each other? Yeah. So either one is fine. Okay.